Hi friends, today we're going to talk about shades of meaning. Now shades of meaning are kind of like synonyms, okay? So they're words that have similar meanings, but they kind of build off of each other. So they kind of go through a different level of intensity. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So looking at this anchor chart, we have shades of meaning is when words are similar but grow in intensity. And that means kind of the seriousness. So for example, we have kind of like a light column, a medium column, and a stronger column. So we have the word yell, shout, and bellow. These words all mean sort of similar things, but if I say someone's yelling, it's a little less serious than someone bellowing. If someone's bellowing, that is really, really intense, right? It's very loud, very extreme. So they mean sort of the same thing. It's still the action of making loud noises through that throat, but it's not, it's more serious. Okay, so like big, large, enormous. So these words all mean similar meanings, right? They all mean things are not small, right? But if I say something is big, it's a little different than saying something is enormous, right? If something is enormous, it's not just big, it's enormous, right? So similar meaning, but a little more intense. We have nibble, to eat, to gobble, right? If I'm just nibbling something, just eating a little bit of it. If I'm eating, that's just regular, but if I'm gobbling my food down, it's intense, right? So these all mean similar things around eating and how much I'm eating, but they have different levels of intensity. Then you have toss, throw, slam, right? So see how that kind of grows in intensity, meaning similar things. And the last one I have is scared, frightened, terrified. So they all mean the same thing, but if I say I'm scared, it's a little different than saying I'm terrified, right? So let's go through some examples because authors use these kind of different words to give you a different sense of what they're reading, to give you a more specific idea. So let's look at the first one. So we have the words peek, look, and stare. So these are all words that mean similar things. Looking, look with our eyes. If I'm peeking, it's a little bit light. If I'm just looking, that's normal. And if I'm staring, we know that vocabulary word, it's intense. So we're going to see which one makes sense in the sentence. So the first one is blank both ways carefully before crossing this street. Would I peek both ways? Would I look both ways? Or would I stare both ways? I would look both ways, right? Look both ways before you cross the street. Mom let me blank quickly at the birthday cake. Mom let me peek quickly or stare quickly. Well, you can't really stare quickly, can you? So peek is a quick look. So we're going to put peek. Mom let me peek quickly at the birthday cake. And then so of course that will mean our last one will be it is not polite to stare at someone, and that does actually make sense because it's not polite to stare at someone. Alright, so you see these words all mean the same things, but they wouldn't have quite worked in all the different sentences, right? There's a certain shade of that meaning that works best for the sentence, like looking both ways, peeking since it's quickly. You couldn't stare quickly. You could look quickly, but it's better to peek quickly, right? Because it's a more specific meaning word. Let's try another one. So you have thin, slender, and scrawny. Again, these words mean very similar things, but they're not all going to work in the sentences, right? So the lonely blank dog sniffed the garbage can. Thin, slender, scrawny. What do you think? I'm thinking scrawny, right? Because the lonely, scrawny dog, right? It's not slender. That's kind of if someone's slender, that's like elegant. And if this dog is sniffing a garbage can, that's not elegant, right? All right, so the beautiful blank buck ran through the trees. Well, if it's beautiful, I'm going to go with just what I said, slender, because it's kind of elegant. If you say something slender, that's an elegant word to mean small, thin. All right, so it is not healthy to be too thin, which is very true. Not too healthy to be too thin. Right, you see how those make more sense in the sentence? So two more. So this one we have shiny or bright. So gold is a blank metal. Is a shiny metal or a bright metal? Well, what do you think of with metal? Metal's shiny, right? That's a word that we would associate with metal. So that means our other sentence is going to be, when there are no clouds, the sun can be very bright, which makes sense in that sentence. See, it wouldn't have made sense to say shiny. The sun can be very shiny. That's not really something that we say. It's not really a word that we use with the sun. So with these different shades of meaning, it's kind of you understanding which words make sense, even though they mean the same thing. Bright and shiny are similar, right? That means sort of the same thing, but you wouldn't use shiny really to describe the sun. You might say shining, but that's not quite the same thing. All right, the last one we have is toss, throw, hurl. It's another good one, better than slam even. So she had to blank the ball to get it out of the way, to get it all the way to home plate. So if she has to throw, if this is something she has to get it all the way to home plate, she probably had to hurl it, right? Like that's an intense throw. She had probably had to take everything she had to get there, to get it there. So she had to hurl that ball to get it all the way to home plate. Please gently blank me the pillow. Well, please gently throw me the pillow, excuse me, or toss me the pillow. Now, you could say throw, but toss is better because a toss is already a gentle throw. If you're tossing something, you're not really throwing it too hard. And so if you want to do it gently, it's just a better word, right? So see how these shades of meaning make sense? They make your writing better and they make it make more sense. And so of course that will last. Do not throw balls in the house, and that works, right? We would not want to throw balls in the house. That would potentially break something, right? So shades of meaning are thinking about words that even though they mean sort of the same thing, how some work better than others in sentences, all right? So you have some work to practice that on your own. Have a great rest of your day, friends.